Hey guys, been over here,
And it's Fry. What's up? How you guys all doing today?
and we are bringing you the first iteration, I guess you could say, of a separate playlist where we are going to be having One Piece discussions.
Yeah, we're going to talk about just random shit going on in the story that doesn't necessarily relate to the most recent chapter, but we think is interesting, slash we want more of your guys' opinions on, slash we want a lot of discussion on.
Exactly. We know that you guys are, if you're not already, you will be dying for more of us than just our chapter, weekly thing. So, in addition to our One Piece Weekly playlist, we have made this content available to you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. So today, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, Scott?
We are talking about Paramecia devil fruits. This is, we're going to have different parts to this little beast and such. It's devil fruit discussion, baby. And, this video is going to be dedicated to Paramecias.
A very large topic. We're going to try our best to discuss most of what we can, and it is a lot of opinions on it. We're just going to say that much.
Yeah, definitely. Don't take it too seriously, but feel free to throw in your 2 cents worth. I'm, like, swatting a fly around me. Okay, anyway. Yeah.
Well, so we're going to talk a little bit about, it's a bunch of different stuff, like, users, the actual devil fruit, underused devil fruits, what could have been, better applied, and just who is strong and why they're strong, pretty much.
Exactly what he said. We don't script this shit. We are...
We just go.
We are in the moment. So let's just go ahead and start. I'm going to start us off by listing a few noticeable Paramecia users. Of course, if you guys didn't already guess this one, we have Luffy. There's also Kuma, Doflamingo, Magellan, Whitebeard, Sengoku, Buggy, Alvida, Diamond Jaws, Mr. 1, 2, 3, Trafalgar Law, Kid, Bellamy, Mr. 5, which I should have said with the other Works agents, Shiki, Ivanov, Hancock, and so many more.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. These guys are what we consider some of the strongest, and some of the, maybe not so strong, but we want to talk about their actual fruit, and maybe not the actual user, because sometimes the user is a lot worse than their fruit.
Exactly, and just for those of you that are perhaps not super into One Piece, but trying to you're dabbling, experimenting with our content, I'll go ahead and fill you in. Basically, what Oda did with his genius mind, he created devil fruits, which is basically, what allows people in the story to have supernatural elements to their character. It's, a power-up type thing, and he's categorized into 3 parts. There's Paramecias, Zoans, and Logias. You want to go ahead and give a definition for those, Fry?
Sure. Paramecia are kind of like the devil fruits that you eat and will give you a certain power, like they'll give you the ability to stretch like Luffy or to reflect like Kuma. They don't take, it can affect your whole body, but it doesn't, make you passable like a Logia, which I guess I'll jump to. A Logia is a person who has sort of almost an elemental devil fruit, which allows their body to become that element, like fire or ice or light. And objects can pass through them. And then the last type is Zone, which lets you transform into an animal.
Exactly. I think Paramecia is definitely the most obscure of the 3, most hard to define. And I think the reason that is that when Oda made this, he probably designed Logia, which, is the most simplistic. It's elemental, like Fry said. It usually denotes intangibility along with their powers. There is Zoan, which is also quite simple. It's a transformation of an animal. There's some more specifics that go into that, but we can deal with that when the time comes. Paramecia is kind of other.
Yeah.
It's the miscellaneous.
Yeah, pretty much. Anything that's not one of the first 2 is a Paramecia.
Exactly. Which makes us crazy for starting with Paramecia, but we have the balls. So let's just go ahead and name some people. We've already named a bunch of notable Paramecia users. Let's just go ahead and list a few people with Paramecia-type devil fruits that seem to be perhaps the strongest of the bunch. This isn't necessarily a very specific numerical, like, oh, Luffy's the strongest, blah, blah's the strongest, blah, blah's the 3rd strongest. It's just a few people that are kind of in the higher tier ballpark.
Obviously, I'm going to start off with probably the most obvious one is, well, maybe not, but Whitebeard. I think Whitebeard is one of the strongest. Oda even said he is the strongest man in the world. His devil fruit is that of an earthquake, which allows him to create earthquakes with his hands. And it is it's a fearsome ability that does a lot of natural destruction to everything.
I definitely have to agree with the slight modification that his fruit is the Gura Gura no Mi, which means Quake Quake. not necessarily earthquakes, but
Yeah, that's true. You can create quakes in the air, quakes underwater, to create tsunamis. I mean, it is a power that you just can't approach.
exactly. I mean, we've already seen characters afraid that his power, or could destroy the world and things of that nature.
Very true. So he's got a super strong one. Another really strong one will be, let's talk about our main character, Luffy, who has the power to stretch like rubber.
I definitely would agree that Luffy is definitely a strong character that utilizes his fruit well. I would say there are others more notable, well, maybe not more notable, but definitely stronger. I think the real strength there is how he uses it. We've already seen as the series has progressed the wide array of avenues that he takes with his ability, making nets with his fingers, twisting around to gain momentum for things like throwing Moo back in Arlong Park, all the way to creating Storm against Oars.
Yeah, it's definitely a power that, like, by itself, just stretching seems kind of useless, but he's definitely taken the power to make himself extremely quick, to make himself larger than he normally should be, with Gear 3. And so, like, the power itself is good, and Luffy has taken it to a better height, but I still wouldn't say Luffy is the strongest character, though he's definitely making a big name for himself, and obviously he's the protagonist, so we gotta mention him.
Yeah, he's got plot armor. Another very, very notable character with a Paramecia fruit for a lot of different reasons would be Kuma. Epithet being Tyrant Kuma, supposedly turned into a fully, Pacifista 0. Sort of not too clear on that as of now. This is, by the way, up to 5.99.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kuma's ability, for those of you that don't know, he has like the Pawpaw no Mi, or I believe that's what it's called. Maybe it's called something different. The point is, it allows you to deflect pretty much anything. From what we've seen, it can be more than just literal things. He can deflect things like pain, suffering, tiredness, fatigue. We've seen that exemplified in Thriller Bark. We've seen that he can, deflect people, I guess is the best way to say it, to make them appear to teleport, but really they move at very heightened speed. We've seen him reflect air and things of that nature.
Yeah, he's definitely used his fruit very well. Like, reflecting by itself is great, but the fact that he can reflect things that we can't touch, pain, and tiredness, and the fact that he can, quote-unquote teleport by reflecting himself is amazing. He's definitely used his Devil Fruit to the best of its ability, and is by far one of the strongest Paramecia types out there with it.
I would agree, and I'd say it's very supplemented by his body type, of course, being that he is, steel, made with steel. I don't know if this is some kind of, like, better than Whoop Steel kind of thing we got going on. We haven't really, got much to say on the strength level of it, except for the fact that Sanji's kick seemed to do jack diddly shit. So
it more broke Sanji's foot than it did any damage.
Exactly. And we've seen how his paw fruit can, reflect, or deflect rather, tangible things as well, i.e. Zoro's swords didn't even cut his paws, they were easily deflected. So it's, not just like a mirror of sorts, it doesn't just reflect it back, it deflects it, as in negates it as well, which is notable.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about a fruit that I think is really powerful, that's kind of not controversial, but just powerful. I think Magellan's poison fruit is extremely powerful. Now that one, a lot of people have questions about whether it's a Paramecia or a Logia, because it covers his whole body, but it is a Paramecia. It acts like Luffy's or like Mr. Three's, the wax fruit, where his body is made of poison, but he can't let attacks pass through it.
Yeah, from what we've seen, Magellan does not appear to be intangible. I mean, it's not definite at this point, but it does seem to be an affects the body type rather than he is poison. That's also kind of demonstrated with the fact that he has to shit all the time. It seems more like the poison is affecting his body, not that he is the poison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a fine line, but it appears to us, at least, that Magellan is Paramecia and not Logia.
And the reason...
I do agree he's very powerful.
Yeah, and the reason why I say he's so broken is because Luffy, with all his power, couldn't touch him without any extra help. Because you touch his poison, and pretty much you lose that appendage.
Exactly.
It's extremely powerful poison. It seems to have been melt stone when it falls on it, and I mean, you just don't want to fuck around with this guy. He's pretty damn powerful.
We've seen further examples. The fact that he took out Blackbeard's entire crew just with his, Hydra. I mean, obviously that is an exemplative or whatever of his skill and his, fighting prowess. But, I mean, it's just the brokenness of the fruit as well. I mean, you just splash them with your whatever and bam. Like,
they're out.
GG.
Yeah, pretty much they're gone. So that by itself is is pretty broken. He used his fruit well. I'm not saying he could have maybe used it better. We haven't seen a whole lot of him, to be honest. I mean, we did see a lot, but he didn't get. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know if he could have used it any differently, or he used it to transport himself. He used it to attack long range. So I mean, no matter what, he is formidable. For sure.
I would definitely agree. I think you made a very well-noted point in the fact that he used it for transportation. Utility of devil fruits in addition to strength is something that definitely needs to be taken note of. I mean, Crocodile said a long time ago, it's not just your fruit, it's how you use it. I mean, obviously I'm paraphrasing or just taking the meaning from what he said. I don't remember it exactly.
Yeah. Let's just keep going. What do we else got? Who would you say is next, or another strong character we need to note?
I definitely think if I had to pick a very strong character with a Paramecia Devil Fruit that has a wide array of usages and stuff, I'd say Ivanov.
Okay, yeah. What his fruit is? What is it? Hormones?
Yeah, he has the hormone fruit, however you say that in Japanese, I believe. That's the gist of it anyway. He uses it for his personal life, to change his gender, to change the gender of his kingdom people. He uses it for battle reasons. He makes his head huge, which gives his winks, I assume, more power with Hell Wink and Galaxy Wink. We've seen him change his body type from male to female for what I think might also be for battle reasons, being more agile in the female form, and things like that.
He makes a straight man gay and a gay man a woman, pretty much. But he also has seen the power of hormones to use it to heal, very well. I mean, it's just a very sporadic devil fruit. Like, we really don't know a whole lot about it because he uses it in such weird arrays. Between healing, between changing genders, between Galaxy Wink, whatever the fuck that is.
I know, right?
I mean, it's everywhere, and it's a very weird one to characterize, but we know he is a very strong fighter, and he's seen fighting with the best and holding his own.
I just want to note, I'm trying to think, have we actually seen him use his devil fruit for healing purposes? Because I know, he did the adrenaline thing for Luffy, which isn't really healing him, it's just kind of like healing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I guess he's boosting his hormones to help Luffy's own healing system. What's it called?
Immune system?
Yeah, there you go. Immune system work.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Let's talk about some really underused Paramecia fruits, because I feel like there were some fruits that had so much potential, but the characters themselves really couldn't utilize it. Yeah, exactly. To say it more simply, they suck balls.
Yeah. How about we go on, do you want to do Mr. 5?
Yeah, Mr. 5 is actually the one of the two big people I think of when I think of underused devil fruits in general, especially under the Paramecia category. For those of you that don't know, he's a bomb man, I believe is how he says it. So he has the bomb fruit, I believe might be explosion fruit, but I mean, he can make his snot explode, he can make his breath explode. Seriously.
It didn't seem like to me that he could cause explosions in an area by looking, but his whole body is explosive. So you touch him, he should be able to explode. He could, like he said, throw his boogers, and those could explode. His breath could explode. So, he just seems very dangerous and was taken out instantly, pretty much.
Exactly. It's definitely himself that explodes. He doesn't create explosions externally. I mean, he uses internal things like breath and, most disgustingly, boogers for explosions. I mean, he could make shit bombs for...
Dude, yeah, he could pee and have, streams of justice.
Justice stream?
And be legit powerful. But, no, he sucked it up and was taken out in, a one-hit, two-hit KO. I don't know. It was really fast.
Oh my god, he could, be such a good terrorist. He could be like, oh, we need to blow up the sperm bank, He'd just go in and donate.
Why the sperm bank?
Detonate it later. I don't know.
Why not a real bank? Terrorists need money, man. They don't need sperm.
I don't think the real bank's going to be asking for his sperm, but, maybe he can go piss in a corner and no one will notice.
Dude, he's a bomb man. He can just run into the bank and explode. Who gives a shit? He'll be fine. He's, the ultimate terrorist.
Slip his fingernails and walk out, Explode it later. That's dangerous. But, I think his power was not supplemented by his personal skill. Yeah, he looked badass, and he made up some cool names, Breeze Breath Bomb, whatever, that was so badass. But he got pretty much one-shotted by Luffy and Zoro, respectively, and that's just weak shit.
Yeah, that is.